Lately, have you been spending most of your time just lying in bed, scrolling through your phone, but not actually wanting to do anything? Deadlines, unread messages, everything piling up, but your body feels so heavy, like the last drop of energy has already been drained out of you. And then you slap yourself with that familiar label, "I'm just lazy." Maybe other people have said it too, so many times that you've started to believe it. Yet deep down, you never wanted to be this way. And you can't figure out why the simplest everyday tasks now feel like moving through quicksand. Hold on for a second. Laziness and burnout can look almost identical from the outside. Both involve slowing down, avoiding things, and running on empty. But they are completely different things at their core. Burnout is a state of total emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that comes from carrying too much stress for too long. One survey found that roughly 3 out of 4 adults in the US have experienced symptoms linked to burnout, and more than 40% of them fell into the more severe range. So today we are going through 6 signs that you might not be lazy at all. You might just be burned out. And most importantly, by the end of this video, I will show you how to break out of this energy trap. I'm Apex. Let's get into it. Sign 1, disconnection. Try to think back on your yesterday. Did you wake up, brush your teeth, go to work, eat, and go to sleep like a pre-programmed routine? You went through all the motions on autopilot, like your brain just switched to cruise control. Your body was there, but your mind was somewhere else entirely. In psychology, this experience is connected to a concept called depersonalization. When you've been under stress for too long, your brain automatically triggers a defense mechanism to shield you from emotional pain. The way it does that is by disconnecting you from reality. You start to feel like a stranger in your own life. You watch things happen around you like you are observing a movie where you're the main character, but you have no control over the story. A lazy person actually enjoys their downtime. They are fully aware of and perfectly happy with doing nothing. But with burnout, that emptiness doesn't feel good. It feels like helplessness, distance, and emotional numbness. You're not lazy. Your emotional system has simply tripped its own circuit breaker to keep from overloading. Sign 2, a sudden loss of drive. The most fundamental difference between laziness and burnout comes down to timing. Laziness is a personality trait, and personality traits tend to stay consistent. Someone who is naturally lazy will always find ways to avoid work, rarely sets ambitious goals, and is completely fine with that year after year. But think about yourself. Were you once someone who was really disciplined? Maybe you were a strong student, a standout employee, someone who stayed up late and woke up early chasing a project, or at the very least, someone who always showed up and got things done on time. If you used to be a high-achieving, self-driven person but have recently become indifferent, unmotivated, and completely drained of willpower, that is the clearest warning sign of burnout. Psychology describes this as a decline in cognitive function caused by neurological exhaustion. You didn't suddenly become lazy, you simply ran too fast for too long without ever letting yourself stop and recover, and now your motivation tank is completely empty. Sign 3, your passion went dark. We usually think of laziness as not wanting to work or avoiding heavy responsibilities. Fair enough. But a lazy person still has energy for the things they actually enjoy. They might avoid cleaning the house or finishing a report, but they will stay up until 3 in the morning gaming, binge-watching shows, or hanging out with friends. With burnout, though, the numbness spreads into every corner of your life and swallows your personal interests whole. Psychology calls this anhedonia, which is the loss of the ability to feel pleasure. The dopamine reward system in your brain has essentially been worn down to nothing. Things that once excited you like painting, playing an instrument, going to the gym, or even your favorite video game, now feel like just another obligation. And if that passion also happens to be how you make a living, and you have been overworking yourself in it, you might even start to feel a deep resentment toward it. When picking up your phone to watch a fun video feels exhausting, you are definitely not lazy. You are running on empty. Sign 4, your patience is gone. A lazy person tends to be pretty easygoing and relaxed. They rarely let their environment bother them because they simply do not put a lot of pressure or expectation on themselves. But with burnout, that calmness disappears completely. Take a look at yourself lately. Do you find yourself getting irritated by a notification sound, a web page that takes a few extra seconds to load, or someone talking a little too loudly nearby? You are not trying to make a big deal out of it, but these tiny things make you feel deeply unsettled and on edge. From a neuroscience perspective, this irritability has a very clear origin. When you are under prolonged stress, the amygdala, which is the brain's threat detection center, gets stuck in a constant state of high alert. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thinking and emotional regulation, becomes weakened from being pushed past its limits for so long. Put simply, your nervous system is overloaded with data. Once it hits maximum capacity, even a loud noise or a sudden incoming message gets flagged by the brain as a new threat. You have not turned into a bad or difficult person. This extreme sensitivity is simply your body's alarm going off, telling you that your brain has no more room left to process even one more small annoyance. Sign 5. Neglecting yourself. When burnout goes on long enough, your brain shifts into what's called survival mode. It starts rationing energy by cutting back on anything it considers non-essential to keeping you alive. And the first casualty is self-care. You might start noticing your daily habits shifting in the wrong direction. You stay up very late, but lie awake unable to sleep, or the opposite, you sleep way too much, but never feel rested. You skip meals, or you eat a lot of sugar and fast food. Because the reward system is depleted, the brain no longer has the bandwidth to process complex sources of joy, so it reaches for the fastest, most instant hits of dopamine it can find just to keep you feeling okay. You stop caring about how you look, skip your skincare routine, and showering starts to feel like it requires more energy than you have. You begin to pull back, cancel plans, and withdraw from the people around you. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when the physical and biological foundation is destabilized, the entire psychological structure above it comes crashing down. A lazy person still knows how to make themselves comfortable, but someone who is burned out is slowly tearing down their own physical health. Sign 6. Holding it together while falling apart. At its core, laziness is a state of relaxation and energy conservation. Someone who is being lazy is generally pretty comfortable with the fact that they are not doing anything. They enjoy that ease and do not feel the need to prove otherwise to anyone. But when you are burned out, the story plays out very differently. Instead of allowing yourself to rest, you spend whatever little energy you have left putting on a front and hiding how exhausted you are. When your boss, coworkers, or family ask how you are doing, your automatic answer is always, "I'm fine, everything is under control," or "I've got it." In psychology, this is called masking, and it is commonly seen in people who experience what is known as high-functioning burnout. You are afraid to stop or ask for help because you fear being seen as weak or irresponsible, or you worry about letting people down. A lazy person can easily say no to things in order to rest, but you are locking yourself inside the pressure of maintaining a perfect image, quietly absorbing more and more responsibility until you completely collapse from the inside. You are not lazy. You are just refusing to let yourself have the right to be tired. But here is the truth. You can use that mask to fool the whole world, but you cannot fool your own nervous system. Continuously denying your exhaustion will only send you sliding further down a slope with no brakes. So right now, what you need to understand is where you actually stand on the burnout scale. Psychologist Herbert Freudenberger, the pioneer of burnout research, found that burnout does not happen overnight. It is a gradual erosion that unfolds across 5 stages. Stage 1, the honeymoon phase. You are working at 200% energy, full of ambition, and feel unstoppable. Stage 2, the onset of stress. You notice a few signs of fatigue and poor sleep, but you keep telling yourself you can push through. Stage 3, chronic stress. Your motivation drops sharply, your work quality starts to slip, but you keep forcing yourself forward. Procrastination creeps in, and you become easily irritable. Stage 4, full burnout. A sense of emptiness takes over. You start questioning your self-worth, feel disconnected, and want to escape every responsibility you have. Stage 5, chronic burnout. Total exhaustion becomes your default state, and the risk of developing depression and anxiety disorders becomes very high. Many of us start showing symptoms at stage 2 or 3, but ignore them completely. We push ourselves to work even harder to keep up appearances, then beat ourselves up and call ourselves lazy when our output is no longer what it used to be. And if you are watching this video right now and recognizing 4 to 6 of the signs we just talked about, I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and listen closely to this. What you are going through is absolutely not your fault. We live in a society that constantly glorifies being busy. It teaches us how to work faster, be more productive, and make more money. From the time we were kids, we were programmed to believe that a person's worth is measured by what they achieve. But not one person, not one classroom, ever taught us how to recognize our own limit. Nobody taught us how to say, "I'm tired," without feeling guilty about it. You are not lazy. Your nervous system and your body are simply responding in a completely natural and accurate way to the enormous amount of pressure you have been piling onto them for far too long. You have been doing an incredible job. This is not the time to be hard on yourself. This is the time to reset and rebuild. And this is where Apex is going to walk you through 7 science-backed, straightforward steps to gradually take back control of your life. Step 1, reframe the mindset. Drop the words lazy and failure from your vocabulary right now. Look at where you are with clear, objective eyes. I have reached the current limit of what I can handle. Hitting a limit is not the end of the road. It is actually a powerful biological signal. It tells you exactly where your threshold is so you can adjust your pace from here. Treat it as useful data, not a verdict against you. Step 2, the brain dump. Overwhelm often comes from trying to hold too many things in your head at once. Work deadlines, household tasks, personal conflicts, all of it. Let your brain do what it is actually built for, which is to create, not to function as a hard drive storing everything. Right now, turn off all your devices, grab a pen and a piece of paper, write down everything running through your mind, whether it is something big like finish the project, or something small like buy fabric softener. When you physically transfer those thoughts from your nervous system onto paper, the amygdala, which is your brain's stress center, gets immediate relief. You will feel like you are in control of the problems instead of the problems controlling you. Step 3, the not to-do list. Look at the list you just wrote in step 2. I would bet that somewhere between 20 and 40% of those tasks are either pointless, trivial, or not creating any real value. Cross them out. Ask yourself, if I don't do this, will anyone actually be seriously affected? If the answer is no, it gets crossed off. Clearing out your list will cut your mental pressure almost in half, instantly. Step 4, prioritize and ask for help. For the tasks that genuinely have to get done, sort them into 2 groups. Group 1, anything you can finish in 5 to 10 minutes. Do it right now. Completing a small task creates a small release of dopamine, which gives you just enough momentum to keep going. Group 2, anything that is too much to handle alone. Do not try to carry it all yourself. Admitting you are overloaded and asking a colleague for support, or being upfront with your manager, is not a sign of weakness. It is what a responsible professional does. Set the ego aside and prioritize the outcome. Step 5, get disciplined about saying no. One of the biggest reasons people burn out is because they feel obligated to say yes to everything and take on other people's work. When someone adds more to your plate while you are already at capacity, do not just stay silent and then blow up later. Use this neutral communication approach. I really want to help with this. Right now, though, I need to stay focused on Project A and Project B to hit the deadlines. If I take this on too, the quality of all 3 will suffer. Can we figure out together which one should take priority? This response is professional, direct, and puts the decision back in the hands of the person asking, which protects your time without burning any bridges. Step 6, celebrate micro wins. When you are burned out, your brain tends to fall into negativity bias, meaning it only sees everything you have not done yet. Actively break that pattern. At the end of each day, instead of criticizing yourself for what is still unfinished, write down 3 things you actually completed, no matter how small. Today I cleared off my desk. Today I finally replied to that tricky email. Acknowledging these wins starts to rewire your brain's reward system and gradually brings your motivation back online. Step 7, protect your recovery time. You cannot drive a car non-stop without stopping to fill up the tank. No matter how busy you are, force yourself to carve out 15 to 30 minutes every single day to fully disconnect from work. No emails, no messages. Use that time to take a walk, listen to a song, read a few pages of a book, or simply sit somewhere quiet and breathe. That is not laziness or wasted time. That is the mandatory refuel your brain needs to clear itself out and stay sharp for the next day. Recovering from burnout is never a straight line, and it definitely does not happen overnight. It takes patience, genuine compassion toward yourself, and the courage to let go of pressures that were never really yours to carry in the first place. Stop forcing an already depleted body to run a marathon. Give yourself permission to take it one small step at a time. If right now you feel completely numb, like you want to shut down and do not have the energy to explain yourself to anyone, remember that you are not alone in this. To understand more about this defense mechanism, check out our previous video where we break down the psychology behind people who go silent when they are hurting. Being able to name what is happening inside you is always the very first step toward healing. The journey of understanding the human mind is a long one. And we are genuinely grateful to everyone who has subscribed and stayed with us, shared your honest stories, and kept showing up alongside Apex. Your presence here is the reason we keep going deeper into the corners of the mind. So, which stage of burnout do you think you are in right now? Share it in the comments, not to judge yourself, but so we can work through it together. If this video helped you put down even one invisible weight you have been carrying, go ahead and hit like and subscribe to keep improving your life through behavioral science. Remember, you are not lazy, you just need some rest. I'm Apex, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.